All right, well, look at that guy at a big White House summit right now that is getting a lot of unions. It is technically called the White House Summit on Worker Voice, but it's virtually a big union audience. And right now it comes at a time when unions are front and center of the focus, and their wrath is front and center of the focus right now. Take a look at what's going on in Belgium today. Belgium's not too receptive to some austerity measures on the part of the government, and it comes only a couple of days after this. After this, yes. You think I would miss the opportunity to tie in the Air France workers, who are very ticked off, as it were, that management was getting all the goodies and they were getting none. Well, it all comes together perfectly right now, because now, sacre bleu! Is that how you say it? Horrible. Hillary Clinton just came out against this big Asian trade deal, the Trans-Pacific Partnership. She is against it. That's the deal her old boss crafted, and at the time she hadn't said anything about it. She's also, as you know, now and then questioned some of the deals her own husband made when he was president, including NAFTA and some of these others, that she says have hurt workers. So obviously she is, this is the first really big wedge with the White House on this issue of trade and how it hurts unions, as she and, by the looks of things, Joe Biden are competing for that union vote. Now, what does Joe Biden do? There he is speaking to union members, saying he has their back. But if he's part of an administration that concocted a trade deal that they deem to be very bad for them, as most of the major unions seem to think, that is what we call a conundrum. To Kevin Cork at the White House. Kevin.
Terrific stuff. Sacre bleu. I'm not sure if I said that as well as you did, my friend, but that was terrific. Hey, listen, union membership, Neil, is down statistically significantly. In fact, it's at its lowest level since the 1930s. And you and I have talked about this. We all know it's global supply chain, robotics and technology, and to say nothing of a shift in the sector itself. In fact, we've lost probably close to 6 million manufacturing jobs in this country since 2000 alone. But it's economic uncertainty in Obama's economy that he says may actually ultimately be a boon for big labor in the years to come.
A lot of that is fed by just people feeling anxious about their futures and feeling alone and feeling like they've got no control and that nobody's listening. Part of what we've got to do is to tap into people who are frustrated about their job paying so little.
Okay, so what does he want? He wants greater union roles. That's huge for Democrats because they're a major bloc. In fact, you probably heard me today in the briefing ask Josh Earnest about that. How do you square TPP with the need to have the unions behind you? Because without them, the Democrats simply can't win. But here's something else I want to point out, Neil. Millennials aren't buying into unions, and that means as unions get older, they'll be smaller, and that hurts the Democrats, and the president doesn't want to see that happen.
All right, thank you, my friend. Your French is just a little better. Just a little better, but I am impressed. All right, let's take a look at what's going on right now. This is a battle royale, folks, and it has really just come down within the past hour. And what makes this so fascinating is Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, and they were putting together the key ingredients of this Asian trade deal. It's meant to be a counter to China and a way to respond with our Asian partners to China's strength in that region. She was for a lot of the early planning. So this is a 180 on her part, or seems to be. I don't want to take leaps here, but it comes at a time when the battle for the union vote is on, and a lot of unions are disenchanted with Hillary Clinton's positions, going back to her husband's administration and trade deals that they say really hurt them. Now she is doing a 180 against her old boss and a trade deal that he says is crucial for those same union members in that audience that Joe Biden is addressing. What is French for awkward? Lay awkward? Oh. It's horrible. Jessica Tarlow says that today's summit serves an important purpose, Hillary Clinton's views notwithstanding. Ashley Pratt, Hadley Heath Manning are wondering what that purpose is. All right, so Jess, help me a little bit with the purpose of a meeting that has mainly just union guys in attendance. I would have thought that the Chamber of Commerce would be invited. They are big employers, big bosses. Nowhere to be found. They didn't even get so much as a call.
Yeah, the unions are not being particularly friendly nowadays. We know, as we just heard, that membership is down to 12%, the lowest level in 80 years, and that they aren't making friends fast. And for good reason. I mean, they feel attacked from every end, and I'm not saying that they've been that well behaved. We know we've seen hypocrisy on the $15 minimum wage, and they've been really bullying around the candidates. We've seen not only on TPP for Hillary Clinton a change in face, but on Keystone, and as well going against the Cadillac tax of Obamacare, and those are purely moves to satisfy and get the union vote. And she just picked up a big teachers union backing over the weekend. I think they have 3 million in that federation that she picked up. So we're seeing them throw around their political weight, and that's what the meeting was about today. But I want to add that while I think unions have gotten quite out of control sometimes with the hypocrisy and also corruption at some level, that we know that unions are good for the middle class, and we've seen that historically.
All right, well, I'm not making a general statement on unions and what they've done. I mean, that's fine. I hear where you're coming from. But actually, here's where I'm coming from on this. There's confusion here because this audience is being divided. The very audience that Vice President Biden is addressing, the same audience that President Obama has been addressing, they're pretty torn here because they feel that this administration has let them down. I don't know if that's fair or right or even accurate, but that's a kind of a split view. And now they're hearing from a vice president, part of administration, that is going to try to get this very tough trade deal that we've orchestrated with our Asian partners, minus China. And that's a tough sell for him at a time where Hillary Clinton has said, no, it's a bad deal. Again, weird, right?
Yeah, and everyone is vying for that middle class vote. And right now, the middle class feels very hurt by this administration and by big labor's agenda, which has been in lockstep with the Obama administration. Hence why they're wined and dined on the, taxpayer tab today at the White House. But the problem here is that unionization is not going to solve our country's problems. We saw that with the Fight for 15 movement. Their ultimate end goal is to unionize these franchises.
Well, then, but what they've got to, here's what I think.
They're not helping the middle class.
No, I hear what you're saying, but here's what I think they're missing. Why can't it be the brave Democrat that comes forward and says, this is silly. Back yourselves into a corner and wanting protection is silly. We live in a different world. This is a type of thing that moves you forward. And I'm not going to kowtow to unions. Or are candidates so nervous that if they offend them, though they might be losing their influence, there's going to be hell to pay at the polls because they can marshal voters.
They can marshal voters, and I think part of the problem is we have, a historical respect for unions as an institution. That's been on the decline. You can look at union membership as one metric of that, but you can also look at surveys. When Gallup surveyed the American people about their respect for the institution of unions, it is on the decline. But most importantly, with the summit that's going on in Washington right now, the fact that they didn't invite a diversity of opinions on these labor issues, our biggest labor issue in our country is that we have the lowest labor force participation rate since 1977. How are we going to solve that problem? Well, it takes inviting everyone to the table and recognizing that so many of the policies that today's unions are supportive of have costs, dire costs, and the costs will be borne by workers themselves, whether it's paid leave mandates or equal pay laws or some of these raises or increases in minimum wage. Ultimately, it's not employers who pay the price, it's the employees.
All right, ladies, thank you very, very much. We'll see how this all sorts out. But, boy, talk about drama as a backdrop with this big summit going on here. Let's take a look at what was going on Wall Street here. Some back-to-back gains for the Dow that are enough to see its best streak now since back in July, I believe. Gold was a beneficiary today. It wasn't earlier, but the idea that commodities started the day on the soft side, then they got strong, then they ended the day stronger. That was a boon to some who wanted to see all cylinders firing, and they did by day's end. All right, we'll keep you posted on that. We will also keep you posted on this Hillary event that's going on right now. In case you didn't hear, she has officially thrown her opposition to a trade deal that her old boss says is crucial. Now, what does that do for Joe Biden? Then Bobby Jindal out with a tax plan that is different in this respect. Every single American will pay taxes. Donald Trump's plan, half do not. Jindal on that.